Hello everyone, and as always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo, where we find, learn, and play one more turn of the great strategy games. And today we've got an advanced copy of Wego World War II Stalingrad. And if you've been around the channel for a little bit, you know I've been excited about this one. I've often talked of my love of Wego games. If you're not familiar what the heck that is, most turn-based games obviously are I go and then you go. So we go back and forth in turns. With Wego, we both put in our orders, or I put in my orders and the computer puts in its orders, and then it all resolves at the same time. It's one of the reasons I love Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific. It just adds an unpredictability that you don't get in most turn-based games. And so I've been really excited to see this. And then we also have the Attack at Dawn, the Desert War, that has come out from another developer. And so now we're getting some Wego games, and I really like it because I love these type of systems. I will say I got this advanced copy. I haven't really played around with it much. I spent about an hour with it just to make sure I didn't sit here and fumble about for during this video, but I thought we would just take a look at the game together. I mean, I'm not going to play through a whole campaign right here. I'm just going to go through and show you what the game looks like. You know, maybe you'll be interested, maybe it'll pique your interest. We shall see. So I'm on the very first screen here, play introductory scenario. There is a tutorial here, and we are going to go kind of through that tutorial during this video. Play game, well, that's kind of self-explanatory. There is an editor and a campaign editor. Well, that gives you a clue. There is a campaign. Quick start guide, and that would take us over to our web browser, and there's a nice, 4 or so page guide that gives you all of the, if you're familiar with turn-based war games, it's going to just tell you, hey, these are the hotkeys, these are the ways, that you enter in orders, the different things you can do. It's a very truly quick start guide. There is a very fulsome manual if you want to go through the manual, because there is, a lot of combat modifiers, and just like every other good turn-based war game, there are modifiers, whether it be terrain, morale, or well, in this game it's called Readiness. How far you are out of command or in command, supply, all of those things that we normally think of that make up a good war game do exist here, certainly. There is artillery, there's tanks, there's air power. That's kind of an off-map sort of air power system, lots of different systems. So anyway, the manual, I think, will come in handy. If the quick start guide doesn't cover it, there is a full manual. You've got the options. If we look at the options, nothing really to know here. And then exit. Well, you know what that is. Okay, play introductory scenario. Let's just click in here and see what we see. All right, so here is the game map. I can kind of zoom in, zoom out for you. And with this Wego system, there is a setup phase at the start of your scenario, whatever scenario you're playing, or at the start of the campaign, there is a setup phase, and you can see here in green, it's going to show you where you could set up your different units. You also see the units up here. You can go over to NATO counters if you prefer those. I always do, and we will do that as we go along here, because we're going to go through all the buttons and check those out and see what all appears here on the screen. But you can see hex-based. My understanding is the scenarios that they have right now are two different there's two different size type scenarios. There's a 5 turns a day, and I believe that that's 2,500 meters per hex. And then there's a 2 turns per day, and I can't remember the size hex for those. But if that gives you an idea of the scale we're talking about, so 5 turns a day, 2 turns a day. My understanding is that the last turn of the day is always a night turn. All right. Tutorial setup. This tutorial is based on a fictional encounter between relatively equal-sized forces. The purpose of this scenario is to provide the player a brief overview of the gameplay in Wego World War II Stalingrad. Axis mission: attack to capture the town of Kotelnikovo and repair the destroyed bridge at V-Town. I'm going to call this VK Town. So we need to repair the bridge right there. You can see maybe that's a busted bridge. Well, it is, indeed. You are now in the setup phase in which you can rearrange the units in their setup zones. Each unit is restricted to a specific area of the map, indicated by a different color, or by different colors, green in this case. So in bigger scenarios, of course, you may have blue, you may have orange or something, that you can only put certain counters into that. And if we zoom in here, you can see at the bottom of the counter, it'll be green, showing you can only put those in a green setup zone. Oh, I guess it was about to tell us that. A unit's setup zone color is the lower left of its counter. To move units, drag and drop them using the left mouse button. Now try these buttons before pressing next phase, which is the green button at the top of the middle of the screen. Here is next phase. Just like, you know, most Wego type games or whatever, there's going to be phases here because you have to put in orders. Now this is the initial turn, so we are setting up. So T is show tutorial, don't show tutorial. Look, we did it. Okay, and then that's also down here with the T. If we want to get rid of it, we do it there. Okay, show setup zones, Q. All right, well, there you go. You can see, you know, you could turn that on and off. Go back to the tutorial. Space, close any displays. Okay, tutorial. And then mouse wheel. We can zoom in and we can zoom out. All right, well, that all kind of makes sense. If we get off this tutorial, you can see the busted bridge there. You can see the different counters. Let's go up here to the upper left. Open turn information. Okay, so you see here units, counter air, future reinforcements. All right, interesting. You can see that the Axis has 4,267 infantry out here, 175 AFVs, 44 artillery, 129 planes. There seems to be... Oh, this is casualties. I get it. Now, one thing about this game that I noticed when I was playing around with it for an hour or so is anything that you hover over, it's going to give you like a pop-up or a tooltip of some sort. I do like that. You got to get a little used to it though, because sometimes you'll wheel over something and all of a sudden, you know, you get onto another screen you don't want to be on. But anything that you hover over, it's going to tell you, you know, sort of what it is. All right. So there's that button. What do we have here? Open battle summary. Well, we haven't had any battles. Move orders, move and attack, hotkey M. So again, it's going to show you the hotkeys in the tooltips here. Show headquarters buttons. Okay, and then you can see supply allocation, reassign headquarters, the hierarchy or order of battle. Only show headquarters on the map, and you see the other units go translucent. Okay, cool. So those are all headquarters buttons. And then you see unit display buttons. We can remove armies from the map. All right. Show moved units as transparent. Well, I don't think we've done any of that. Show night capable units. Oh, okay, this is cool. Shift M, so show all moves. Shift O, show orders on the map. Okay, that's the hold order, by the way, but we'll get to that. And then show units at their start destination. All right, cool. I kind of like this system. Just very easy over here on the left. Show hex content buttons. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is everything we can show in the hex. Zones of control, anti-air capabilities, intel strength, which is very important with recon in this game, lines of communication, supply levels, okay. Show unit shock. Now this game has a mechanic called shock, and it's really, it kind of gives armor an advantage. I guess that'd be the best way to put it. So, you know, we see the armor here. It's going to have a shock score, and that's going to give it a combat bonus when it's attacking. Unit quality. Okay, that shows up in yellow. We really don't know what that means yet. Unit readiness, they're all in green. Unit strength. Dug in state, so there is entrenchment here. Victory hexes on or off, and hex side effects. Okay, so you see here, black is impassable, and then it tells us here. Let's hover back over that again. Black is impassable. Red affects combat. Blue, oh, it popped down too fast. Blue affects movement. Okay, well, this is a river, right? So that's going to affect combat, attacking across that. Do we see anything blue? Well, yeah, we do right there, so that affects movement. I guess we essentially can't move into that hex, would be my guess. Okay, so that's hex, and then what do we have down here? Open AI assist. Control B, assign ground attacks now. Control A, assign artillery strikes now. Control P, assign command actions airstrikes now. Automatically, okay. So, you know, turn start assist. This will assist us. No big... You're like, yeah, really, that's what I needed you for here. Show info buttons, all right? We have open scenario briefing, quick start manual, scenario statistics. Here we have battle CRT, anti-aircraft CRT, bombardment CRT, and terrain effect chart. Now, you may say, what is the CRT? Here, this is your combat... what's it called? Combat... Oh gosh, I was hoping it was going to pop up here. Combat resolution table. That's what it is. Wow, I just pulled that out of the archives of my brain. Combat resolution table. So you can see, given the various odds scenarios, then it rolls a die, right? So if you have a 4-to-1 advantage and you roll a die, you know, you can get these different results. So it is a dice-based game, just like all of these games are, whether they tell you they are or not. I mean, maybe the game picks a random number, but it's the same idea. The values below are the damage suffered by the attacker, damage inflicted to the defender, right? So if we roll a 6, look at that. Lucky 6. Don't give me a snake eyes. Losses shown are for regular quality units. Quality increases, decreases the damage as follows. Conscripts plus 40, greens plus 20, veterans minus 20, and elites negative 40. Now this is battle intensity high. We don't know what that means yet, but anyway, you can always go down here then and see. Oh, cool. Oh, well, let's do this. Oh, it doesn't work for that. I thought when I hovered over that, that was going to do the same as it does here. Anti-air attack combat results table. So it'll tell you all of the different AA, you know, based on the anti-air level of the unit, what it's going to do for you on this table. Okay, that's cool. And then bombardment combat results. This explains it to you as well. This game does a good job of explaining to you. Oh, here we go. So town, city, factory. You can figure out what each one of these will do as far as their different effects on combat. There's a max stacking limit, defense effects, attack effects, movement points to enter. Excellent. Okay, this is great. This is great. I feel like more games should have a pop-up just like this. Cool. Like mud flats, defense effects, armor at only 50%, infantry, cavalry 50%, bombardment, defense good. Oh, I guess that probably gives it a bonus, huh? No shock in battles, no overruns. Now, shock, again, is an attacking modifier. Movement points to enter, 3.0 is going to cost you extra. Cool. Okay, so I think, let's see, what else is this? One more. Open display options. Oh, okay. Show unit details pop up, show stack details pop up, turn on off hex content information. Okay, show headquarters chain of command, show hex coordinates. Oh, there we go. Show orders on the map with Shift O. That we already saw that over here. Show map hex side effects. Okay. Is there someplace I can go down to? Place at the top of the stack. Yeah, headquarters. I always like those to be at the top of the stack. Unit border options, unit readiness. Oh, okay, so this is like a soft factor in a Grigsby game. You can put on the counter or around the counter. You know, if you want to show unit strength on the counter itself, you can do that. What I was looking for, what is this? Sound options. Auto save, auto scroll, confirm, skip film and AI. It calls it film when it replays what happens. No, I don't want to exit. Get back over here. Okay, I know that there's a place here that we can make the counters NATO. I just don't know exactly where it is. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time about looking at it. I just kind of like it. I like the NATO counters better. I always have. That's fine. I mean, we're just looking around the game. I'll check it out in the manual and tell you next time, because I do think I will try to play a scenario or two of this. All right, so that was the first page of the tutorial. Let's go to the second page. Tutorial planning. In this phase, you can move unit and order attacks. To move a unit, drag and drop it with the left mouse button. Hexes that can be moved. Okay, well, first of all, we're in the setup phase now, so we need to go beyond the setup phase, all right? So we've got this unit, and I want to just kind of show you when you right-click here, all of the information you get. And when you hover over something, it's going to jump to the information of that. So before we start hovering over things, this is the 405th Bridge Battalion. It is motorized, not night capable. So see, the minute I go, I'm not pushing anything. When I go over this, it shows you immediately not night capable and tells you all about that. It is German. This tells you the intel range. You got to be careful here. Intel strength, shock shifts, unit dug in or not. Okay, this shows you the quality. That 3 of the German insignia, that is normal. Bridging Engineers Battalion. Okay, it is part of the 48th Panzer Corps under Kempf. The Special Kempf Army. So this is 48th Panzer Corps, goes back to Kempf. I think that is 48th Panzer Corps headquarters. It's got 205 men in it. Here's its anti-aircraft value, which is a 2. Its stacking size, it counts as a 2, and then it will show you what the zone of control is because of that stacking size. Here is its defensive orders. They are to hold. There we see readiness, strength, okay, and then supported. So this means it is in command range here, the LOC, lines of communication. Then it has supply there. So there is a ton of information on the back side of this counter. All I did is right click here on the unit and it brings up all of this. And then we could go into what each and everything means here, but I think I'll save that for some sort of tutorial. You know, this is just kind of a look about. Readiness, strength, attack, defend, and movement. And if you look at the counter, like all good war games, you see 0 for attack, 3 for defend, 8 for move. Okay, so that's how many movement remaining moves it has this turn. Bridging engineers can destroy or repair bridges and build pontoon bridges. Right click unit and press bridging buttons. Okay. We also have select all units in the hex and lock the info panel. What are they talking about? I'll show you in a minute. Only show headquarters on the map. Okay, so every unit has this. It's kind of the back of the counter, and you can go and read about every single one. Here's the Schützen regiment, and you can read all about that. You can see it's got a attack 4, a defend 10, a move 8. Awesome. Good to know. And one other thing I want to show you is when we're on this unit, you can open up here and it'll show you everything about this unit right over here as well. And all of the various orders that you can give to this unit. So this is much like a Tiller game, right? John Tiller. This looks just like that. And you can see its orders are to hold, show scenario information, hex contents, show total men, vehicle, guns in the hex. Interesting. Oh, I think it's not going to do that while we're still in the setup phase. Show victory points, hotkeys. There are a lot of hotkeys in this game. And then unit details. Okay, so we just took that off, actually, but let's put it back on. So there are the unit details. All right, let's get through this kind of movement the planning phase. We may as well move everything up here we can. Now, what all do we have here? Well, if we right-click here, we've got that Schützen regiment. We've also got the Panzer, the 36th Panzer Regiment here. We can right-click on that, and you can see attack 6, 13 defend, 8 move, but it's got these shock shifts, 4 armor shock. Shock shifts the odds of an attack by the shock value. I like that mechanic, right? And you've seen that in good board games over the years that when you have a unit that's armored, you know, that could cause some shock, hence the name, you do get a combat bonus for that. But there's no reason these guys shouldn't be up by the bridge, right? Or we could just take what I'll call the, and see, you just pull these things. We'll take what I call the recon here, and this is more of a recon unit, and move it up here. I think we have some recce units too somewhere here. Where's that? Well, I think the Schutzens can move an 8. 8, 8. I thought we had a 9 here somewhere. That's an 8 for the tanks. Those are an 8. Oh, there it is. The motorcycle guys. There they are. Let's put them right up front because I want these guys, you know, flying on their cycles. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put them down here so they're near a road and they can get out. Is that true? Hold on. See, you can keep dragging them around until you hit next phase. Then we'll put the tanks maybe back here. This looks like that's part of 14th Panzer. Okay. Let's move him. I don't know. You can, you know, there is a stacking limit in each hex. And that's what I was saying. If we right click here, you see the stack value. Where did that go? I think it was a 2, 3. There it is. Nope, that's distance from headquarters, intel range, intel strength. Oh gosh darn it, I just had it. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Stacking size 2. All right, and then every hex has a stacking limit, so you can just move, you know, move 2 tanks in there. It's not going to allow you to move into something if you've got too many points. That's an 8. We may as well put the trucks up there. This is a headquarters unit, and you can see here it's 14th Panzer Division underneath Heim. We can right click on that and get a little more information here. Mechanized Divisional Headquarters. It's part of the 48th Panzer Corps. All right, and then it's got a certain range to it, remaining moves. Line of communication range is 10, so these units need to stay within 10 to be within its command range. And then let's, I don't know, keep moving trucks up here, maybe move something over here. And then we have artillery. So here we've got some artillery. Let's just move them up to the front. Maybe put the artillery there, there, and there, and there. Oh, did I just see? Aha, I did. There's the recce battalion. I thought it was there somewhere. That's who I want to move. No, not you, Mr. Artillery. Let's move to the other guy. There we go. Well, not both. I had this problem before. When I want to select him, let's unselect him, or can I move him? Whatever. We'll get back to that. Let's move this guy up. What are you? What the heck are you? Oh, it's a Pioneer Battalion. It's the engineers. And then, you know, the main headquarters, we'll just put that in town. Okay, and then you just hit next phase. Unused ground, air, naval assets remaining. Proceed, yes. Proceed to next turn, which really means next phase. And now the tutorial planning comes up. In this phase, you can move unit and order attacks. To move a unit, drag and drop it with the left mouse button. Hexes that can be moved to are clear. Inaccessible hexes are grayed out. And hexes to which the unit could move if not for the presence of enemy units are yellow. Now that kind of takes away from the fog of war a little bit, right? If you know you can't move somewhere. But I will say in this game, actually kind of the way it would work is you wouldn't really know that, and as you move out there you move to contact, and then because of the Wego, that's all happening at the same time, right? You may get into a battle, but there are special rules about that. When you're both on the move, there's less damage that's done. It's more kind of almost like a probe attack, but we'll talk more about that when I do a tutorial or a playthrough. Now try these buttons before going to the next phase. Select all units in a hex and lock the info panel. Okay, that's F. And then when the cursor is over units, changes the orders for all units in the hex. When the cursor is over the... Okay, so F and O is what we need to know. Now let's take these guys here. If I hit F, does that select both? No, or just one. Got it. Okay. And then it's both. Got it. Okay. Let's just take one at a time here. Yep, there we go. Okay. The bicycle recon, I really want to get out here too, but the way you do orders is you just pull this and you can see what's lit up, right? And so in this initial phase, you're just pulling. And what you can do though is you can go here, drop it, then go here, drop it, right? And then you can kind of move along how you want to, or you can just pull it all at once. And we may as well just have these guys go all the way down the road. Then we'll take maybe the bicycle recon. Now see, that's both. If I hit F, nope. If I hit F, I've yet to figure this out. There we go. The bicycle recon. Oh, he's got to go all the way up and around across the bridge. Okay, that's fine. So bicycle recon comes out here, and then we have another bridging unit. And if I right click on this, you can see the bridging options down here. So supply, order unit to wait, select all units in the hex, hotkey, attempt to create a pontoon bridge. Yes, let's do that. Whoa, look at that. All right, so that's going to try to do a pontoon bridge. Now you see these units out here, they're not actually out here yet. And you may say, huh? What do you mean? This is the orders phase, right? I should say the planning phase. So we're just pushing them where we want them to go, and then we can give them other orders of how they could respond to contact, right? Or how they respond if they run into the enemy. We've got another bridging group up here, and let's right click on that, and you can see that's where that broken bridge is. And you can see right down here, attempt to repair the bridge. All right, so that's going to attempt to repair the bridge there. We've got another unit that we can move out here. Then we've got the Rekka unit. I really wish I had these guys out front. That's how you would normally do it, but that's okay. So we'll move those down there. We've got artillery, but not a whole lot to do with the artillery yet. It doesn't look like we have any elevations on this map. I'm going to keep the artillery over here just a bit. I'll bring you up and around. Then we've got the panzers that can come down the line, down one road or the other. Let's kind of put them back here. You can see we're starting to, we're getting back in here. It seems like I can't move as far now. I don't know if that's because we've moved so many things over this bridge, or how exactly that works, quite frankly. I'm just not deep enough in the game yet. Let's move the headquarters for 14th Panzer there, and then we'll bring the Pioneers along. Yeah, we'll just put them right there. Okay? And now what was it talking about F and O? All F does is instead of moving them one at a time, if you click here and you hit F, it locks them both, and then you can move. Now it didn't do it there. You can move them. There we go. And you can move them both. So I just hit F when I did that. Now, if you don't like these orders, you can always, cancel them or move them back when you're still in the planning phase. So, you're not stuck with what you put out here originally. You can, it's planning, right? So you're just going to pull them out here, and then you say, I don't really like that setup. Maybe I don't want the artillery all the way out here. You can always cancel that and pull them back. Oh, and then it said O. It said O. There. And so this is the hold order. So let's right click on this and see what they're talking about up here. Where is that order? Change orders. Ah, there it is. It's right here, right? So there's the following orders. Hold at all costs. Order withdraw. When the cursor is over units, changes the orders for all units in that hex is O, okay? Right. Okay, well, so everything in this hex, if we hit O, we could change all of the orders here, but we don't want to. And so you can see I did that. We'll hit O again, and then you can see it right up here as I'm doing it. It changes, but we just want those on hold. Okay, so we're through the planning phase. We still have ground, air, naval assets remaining. Proceed, yes. Proceed to the next turn. It really should say next phase, I feel like. I always feel like that's confusing when it says next turn. Now you can see execution. That's where we are now. And all of those orders we just gave our units, they're going to try to carry those out. So if we hit play, they call this a film, like we're in Hollywood or something. They call this a film. These guys are going to, you can see them. They're already starting to move out. And my guess is the reason when I was pulling some of the units later on, my guess is the reason they couldn't go as far is because there would be stacking limitations as they tried to move to the front, right? Now, I can also see how there's going to be a real question of, just because you have certain movement points, some things should probably move slower than others. I'm not exactly sure yet how the game deals with that. But again, you know, this is just kind of a grand overview here. Artillery can attack enemy ground units or defend friendly units when press R. When you press R, when the cursor is over an artillery unit to select it. This enters the fire mode, which displays the range. To assign an artillery mission, left-click on an enemy or friendly unit. Artillery attack effectiveness depends on the knowledge of the target units, the intel level. The bombardment table is only used when artillery, naval, or air support are attacking on their own. If supporting a ground unit attack, their attack factors are added to the ground force per normal rules. Terrain can reduce the effectiveness of bombardment. Now try these buttons before going to the next phase. Select artillery unit in fire mode is R. Alt R is select all artillery unit in a hex in a fire mode, and Shift R is select next available. Okay, well, let's go to our artillery. Here's some right here, and let's go R. And there you can see the range. Well, there's nothing in range. No shocker there. And then if we're here, let's try Shift R. And yeah, then you could fire with all of these. Oh, cool. So it brings up this little cursor, whatever that is. Oh, some of this has different range than others, I guess. Oh, is there not 2 artillery in there? And then control, was it control R? Yeah, it was control R is for next. So is that right? Hold on, let's go back to that. Shift R, Shift R. Oh, got it. Alt R, okay, you dummy. Go, what is this? We don't have 2 artillery in any hex, I don't think. I split them up. Let's click off of that. Well, that's fine. R, Shift R. Oh, I see. And then with when you click on Shift R, it just jumps around to all the artillery. So it's like hitting the next button. Got it. Alt R. Yeah, so it's all artillery in this hex. But there's only 1, so it's only going to show us that. If we had 2, then we could give orders to both of them. Okay. Well, there's nothing to bombard right now, unless I'm missing something. We can move down here. I don't think we see the Soviets anywhere. So we've looked at artillery. Tutorial readiness. Readiness measures how fresh a unit is. Readiness is reduced by unit actions, moving, attacking, etc. Low readiness reduces the effective attack defense values. At 0% readiness, attack will be reduced by 66%. At 0% readiness, defense movement reduced by 50%. Units recover readiness by resting. The amount of readiness recovered depends on the quality of the unit. During the night, units recover extra readiness, even if they have moved in the last turn of the day. Before the night turn, the map darkens to indicate this is the last turn of the day. Right-click a unit and move the cursor over the icons for more information. Okay. Well, we talked about this. Readiness, these started at 100 and now they're at 90. And this is kind of giving us the same information. It also reduces resting increases readiness. LOC and unit quality affects the rate of increase. Enemy zone of control reduces the rate. Encircled units lose readiness. All of that makes sense. Okay. So, you know, readiness, think of that, I think, as, you know, integrity, plus maybe a little morale and whatever else. Readiness is just kind of one of the main, is the main modifier, it seems, for your troops. Movement orders. There are 3 different movement types. Move and defend, move and attack, or road movement. Okay. So, of course, road movement unit has more movement points and pays a lower movement cost when moving along roads. Unit must have move plus supply. Unit is subject to ambush. Normal movement along road costs 1 movement point regardless of the terrain. Now try these buttons before going to the next phase. Change move order type. Move and defend, move and attack, road movement. Okay? Press this button on the left for more information. The I1, open scenario, quick start. Okay. Well, let's go out here and let's click M. And this is changing the movement type, evidently. Where is that, though? Well, let's go down here and find out. Show buttons. Nope, that's what we just saw. Does this... Hold on. Let's go back to this for a second. Change move order type. Okay, let's right-click here. What is its... Not night capable. We already knew that. Shock. Intel... Okay, this is defensive orders, but that's the O button, right? And so now I'm changing that. We don't want that to be on hold at all costs or whatever the heck that was. So that's that. It's supported basic unit history. Oh, so you can go back and see the unit history. Headquarters, what is this? This is weight, change orders. Alright, where is this movement time? We're still in a planning phase. Well, never mind. Yeah, of course we're in planning. That's the same. I was thinking setup, but, you know, of course we're in planning. We're giving it orders. What happens if I'm right-clicked here? Oh. Is it up over here somewhere? So that's hold. Scenario. Let's look at hotkeys. M, he says. Sorry, like I said, there we go. Change move order type. Oh, do we have to get... I think I know. Okay. Let's get off of O there. And let's say we're on this unit. Get out of this. Get out of the hotkeys. Yeah, okay. So let's give it this order to come down here by this town. Okay. Now then. I know that it's this right here. That's the movement order it has right now. Can I change that though? It's not changing right now. Let's look at this one more time. Move and defend, move and attack, road movement. Okay, 3 different move types. Well, let's try to move something else. Let's move this down here to the road. I see it. Okay. We need to fix the... Let's show this over here. Press F. Okay, let's press F to fix that. It's right here. What is this showing me? Hold on. Move order, move and attack. That's what we've got it on right now. Okay, how do we change that? Well, if I'm here, does that change it? No. If I right click it, can I change it here? No. Is it before I move it? Let's move this down here. I'm just, you know, I'm not trying to be fancy with my movements here. See, that is also on move and attack. Is there some way I can change that? Undo unit order. Boom, back it goes. Okay. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to pause because I'm going to figure this out. Now I have to... Aha! I found it. Sorry, I fumbled around there for a second. It's right up here. Move order is here. And so, now it said the M key And yeah, now you can see it changing move order. Move and attack would be yellow. Move and defend is green. I'm hitting the M key. And then road movement is blue. I can also change it here, road movement, right? So this unit, if I wanted to do road movement, I can click here and it'll go right down the road and it will cost us less movement points. All right, that makes a lot more sense. Let's have him go over there on that road. And then also, just looking through here, I was like, oh, there's a lot of things that I just found over here. Remove armies from the map. We already talked about that. We talked about these when we first started out. I just kind of forgotten about it. Showed moved units as transparent. So if you want to just, take off what's already been moved, including the guys working on the bridges up there, they'll go transparent when you click that. Night units, NATO pictures. There we go. Looking at these, I don't know. Yeah, okay, I love the NATO pictures. So that's where we get that up there. Then we have Shift M that shows all moves. So we can look at every move that we've already put in for this turn. And also, like I said, if we go here and right click on, for instance, the Schützen Regiment, we can undo that move, okay? And then we can go back, get it again, go here. Now, is this going to show us in a different color? I would think it might, right? But it looks like it doesn't, because that's going to be road movement. But it's showing us those in yellow. Interesting. Show units at their start and destination. So you can do this back and forth. So it shows where they're starting this planning phase and where you want them to end up after execution. The orders on the map, those are defend, Shift M. So there. Okay. So now we've got NATO counters. We also see, all of their different stats on here. Nice. Okay. So the M does change that. I guess long story short. Let's go back to the tutorial. So the three different kinds of movement. Move and defend, move and attack, road movement. Press this button on the left for more information. I1. Open the scenario briefing. Open the quick start. Well, we're not going to do that, but we would be clicked over to the browser. We could also see the statistics here, victory points, units on the map, etc. Okay, cool. On to the next one. Tutorial, shock. Shock is one of the most important aspects of the game. Armored units usually have a shock of 4, which means an armored unit can shift the odds of an attack by 4, i.e. a 1-to-1 attack becomes a 5-to-1 attack. Shock shifts the odds of an attack by the shock value. A side shock is the maximum shock value of any of its units reduced by the percentage of units that have no shock. The percentage is calculated on unit stacking sizes. i.e. if a unit of a stacking size equals 1 with a shock of 4 attacks with an infantry unit with a stacking size of 3 with no shock, then the final shock equals 1. Well, I'll let you do the math on this, but the basic idea is this is on the unit details. This is the shock value of that unit. If it's got this, it has no shock. Okay? Recon. Intel reconnaissance is very important. Units must be detected by recon to be seen. The effectiveness of artillery and air attacks also depend on the intel on the targets. Ground units have distinct intel range strength depending on their type. Recon units are best and foot infantry are the worst. Air recon and ground asset intel missions can also gather that intel range, intel strength, okay, and then show the intel on the map. So if we hit I here, you can see in green is where we have really good intel at the moment. Now these guys haven't moved out here, right? We're still in the planning phase. If we wanted to move them all back, let's get that off of here. So for instance, if we moved them all back here, you can see why the intel is what it is. Dark green, light green, yellow there. Okay. And on each unit counter, so let's just, let's just right click here. You can see the different intel strength is 3, intel range is 2. So it's the range on the map. This is the level of intelligence. All right, so that's a nice recon system. I like that. Air units, they're right up here. I'm not going to go all the way through that, but you can assign missions to air units if you have them. So if we click on that, you see down here, we have some 189 A1s. We could give them a mission, recon or attack. You can see their various stats here. So there is an air component, and I certainly like that. Then we have off-map assets. That is this symbol. That includes naval units, okay? So then we can assign ground assets missions. So intel units can be ordered to gather intel. Command units can be ordered to affect battles. So you can give extra support if you want. Special events. So if we go here, we can see any special events here. They're almost like cards in decisive campaigns. You see here, this unit can shift attacking, defending odds by 1 column. Similar to air units, but not subject to AA attacks. So if we clicked on this, command, if we clicked on one of the, you see that shield that pops up? We would be putting this on that. So it would get this advantage. It's like playing a card on the counter to give it a command advantage. Excuse me. Okay. So those are off-map assets, and you can do naval bombardment, certainly. Setup, we're back to the start here. So I think what I'll do is probably play an introductory scenario on the station here. I just wanted to give you, they gave me this preview key. By the way, thank you to Matrix, as always. Those guys over there are great. This game is launching March 31st. So it's coming out, here in about a week or so. I guess it's a week from today, actually. I'm recording this on March 24th. So I love these Wego games. The system looks really nice. It looks like a good board game system, which is, hey, I love those. I don't mean that in any way other than positive. And so I will be covering this on the approach to launch. And I think we'll play through a scenario. If we really like it, maybe we'll play through a couple. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, this has been Strategy Gaming Dojo. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Maybe it got you interested in the game, or let you know a little bit more how it works, and you can do some more due diligence maybe here on the channel. Anyway, talk to you next time. Have a good one.